Damn coronavirus, I can't blow out my Zippo.
Again, thank you to Andrew and McKenna Severns for that great intro song. If you want that, we're going to make it available for download on our website, and we'll post that on our Facebook and Twitter accordingly. So if you want to make that a ringtone, a message alert, whatever you want, we'll make that available to you so that you can, kind of have that out there and available. And then when people say, what is that song, when somebody calls you, you can say, oh, it's the PTR radio theme song. And, hopefully you can tell them more about the show. And then we get more listeners, and we get more interaction, and you don't seem so weird when you say, yeah, I listen to a show every 2 weeks for 2 hours that just talks about whatever pops into their heads. So, because that is literally what we do. Although I have a feeling tonight there's definitely going to be one subject that's going to come up. And normally we don't get into that subject matter very much. But when we do, we talk about it our way, which is making fun of every side. So that's going to be coming up a little bit later, and I think you can figure out what that is. Also coming up, we're going to talk about police chief harassment with the dildo, pizza owner that's getting into the pot business the wrong way, and much more coming up on this episode, in addition to our double feature movie review, which we'll have towards the end of the show. So if you have ever thought, hey, how well does Netflix really know and Amazon really know what movies I might like, we strive to answer that question. So tonight's shows, Venus in Vegas and The Heavenly Kid.
Nothing good is going to come from this.
From our show in general, or just from the topics tonight?
All around. Just
all around.
Yes.
Well, let's.
And it dawned on me, I actually have to go log in to. Oh no, I don't. That's right, because I could watch it on HBO Max later. We're going up against the South Park pandemic episode tonight.
Oh no! Our ratings shall plummet.
I have not watched South Park in I can't tell you how long. But when I saw they were doing a pandemic special, I said, well, hell, if anybody can paint an accurate picture of the entire pandemic situation, it's South Park.
It's either going to be South Park or The Simpsons. Take your pick. One of the two.
Well, The Simpsons predicted this. They actually predicted last night's debate years ago by running a headline in the Springfield newspaper, old man yells at old man.
Well, and well, you could say that South Park also did it when they said douche versus S sandwich. But that's like an evergreen, really comparison. I mean, in today's world of politics, I think you could apply that toward just about any debate, be it at your local level or at the national level.
Listen, look, let's just get right into this, okay? Well, actually, are you going to make a drink tonight?
I am going to make a drink tonight.
Okay, so I think it behooves us before we start talking about this event that happened last night.
Yeah.
You make that drink because it will probably make that discussion go a lot easier.
Oh, you think so? Okay. Well, in order to do that, we got to go to the bar.
Yes, go to the bar.
And we're at the bar.
Good.
So, hey, everything worked tonight. You notice? I didn't have to run back, fix the microphone or nothing. I do need that
Very good.
trailer to be just about a few seconds longer. Of course, it would help if I didn't trip over my dog. So. Mike, you can relate to this. Pets are worse than children.
Oh, you have no idea, dude. You have no idea.
No idea.
Listen, my dog got stuck under the steps today. Okay, and we'll just leave it at that. But go on. What do you? You've got
All right.
got the makings of some serious stuff going on there because I just see the word shine
Yeah.
and
So originally, we were going to make a moonshine strawberry lemonade. Okay. Now this is a kind of a weird drink. I've actually never made these types of drinks before until I made a trial run last night. So the original recipe uses moonshine, but not everybody has moonshine. So I thought, well, if you don't have a bottle of hooch running around, a great substitute. So if you have this vodka, just straight vodka, you don't have to worry about a flavored vodka or anything like that. I think straight vodka would be a great substitute. So if you're short on White Lightning, straight vodka will work. In addition to your spirit, you're going to need, and this is going to sound weird, you're going to need lemon juice and strawberry jelly.
I guess you could do grape if you're allergic to strawberries.
You could. So, strangest drink I've ever made, I'll tell you. But here's how it works. Very simple. All right. So, you need half a shot of lemon juice.
All over the bar.
Huh?
I was waiting for it to go all over the bar.
Nope. Then 2 shots of whatever liquor you're going to use. Like I said, I'm going to try vodka tonight just because. Because it's a school night, right? Now, this is supposed to also make 2 servings, by the way. Then, a spoonful of strawberry jelly. And a little bit more if your spoon's small. Stir that up a little bit to kind of break up the jelly.
The consistency is what
It
is
is
possibly
weird,
gonna...
isn't it? Then you add ice.
I don't know, man. This is just like...
It is odd.
This is
I
like
agree.
redneck Jello shot here. Like, I don't know, man.
It kind of is, yeah. And unfortunately, all I have is crushed ice. I actually think full-size ice cubes will work better because you're wanting that ice to kind of break up the jelly when you shake this. So we'll see. When I made this the first time last night, yeah, when I poured this into the glass, you hear a glop, glop from the jelly that didn't quite get shaken up right. And then you just shake the bejesus out of it. And I'm
Shaggy's
not
glad
kidding.
that he owns the shake weight now.
Yeah. Because the last thing you want is giant chunks of jelly in your drink. Then you see how strong you are and if you can get the lid off. And then what I found was actually
Looks like sherbet. Now what are you doing?
okay, then you just add a little bit of club soda. Stir that to combine.
It look like a pink fizzly boobly.
It does. It really does. And then there you go. That's what you got. Not bad at all. It is just like a pink lemonade.
Nah, that's a no-go for me then. That's a no-go for me.
The pink or the lemonade?
Yes. You could have went and bought Spittin' Chiclets, what is it, Pink Whitley? There's a pink lemonade vodka that they make already. I mean, I guess, I would try it, but I don't know, man.
It's not bad, really.
So
it is weird putting jam into an alcoholic drink and not throwing it through a blender or something.
Wilford Brimley would be proud.
Yeah. So there you go. But that's how it is. And like I said, you can, if you want a sharper drink, use the moonshine. I think the vodka makes it just a little bit smoother and easier to drink. So there you go. So Mike, are you lubing up before our discussion tonight?
Yeah. So I am sticking with my theme of like adult versions of popular kid snacks, but alcoholic. So tonight, I don't know what I'm going to call. I'm going to call this the adult kindergarten snack because it's 1.5 ounces of Screwball peanut butter whiskey with 1.5 ounces of Crown Royal apple. So the adult alcoholic take on apples and peanut butter, just over ice. First sip. It's actually not terrible. The Crown Royal is a little overpowering though.
Yeah.
I'm not getting as much of the peanut butter as I would like, so I would probably say maybe cut back to 1 ounce of the apple. Now, if you had Applejack, maybe you try that, but it's actually not bad.
Not bad. All right. Now, back to the studio. And we're back.
Yes.
What I have is mead.
What is that?
Oh!
Mead. Blood orange.
It's it was a limited edition of Spice Blood Orange and Cranberry Mead. I buy these from a meadery in Vermont.
A meadery is what it's called?
Yeah, as opposed to a brewery, it's a meadery.
Okay. Just
come on now.
Well, I mean it makes
Come
sense,
on,
but when I hear meadery, I think, oh, it's another name for a butcher shop. You know?
Come on. Meat, not mead, not meat.
Well, you know.
You can read it there. I am not going to try to pronounce their name.
Okay, I got it.
Gronfell.
I'll just say that they...
Shut up, man. Just shut up, man.
Their meads are very good. They're very beer-like meads.
I'm glad we're all drinking because last night I attempted to I found a drinking game for the debate.
I saw a post that said that you were going to try
something.
and do the presidential debate drinking game, and that today might be a bad
listen.
day.
Oh, dude, you see the bags under my eyes, man. I didn't make it out of the first segment before I had to stop drinking because good Lord. Literally, like, I would have been better off playing debate bingo, all right? And because you could have guaranteed that certain things were going to be said, certain things were going to be done, and nobody can give me a legitimate answer other than the candidates didn't agree to it. Why don't they mute microphones?
Yeah.
Well, they are making... They're not saying what the changes are. They are making changes for the other debates coming up.
Okay,
Well, yeah, because
that should be
the
one.
general consensus was if it's going to be like last night, they shouldn't even bother.
No.
There's
keep saying to myself, is this really the best that we have to choose from? I mean, this. I have never felt so much despair, and it's not just because I was drinking. I have never felt so much despair over the future of our country because I feel like no matter who wins, we are screwed. Oh.
So
yes,
I just put a
right
link
now,
up
right now.
But no, we're gonna post it later. We'll post it after the show.
Okay.
But I just saw everyone should be familiar. If you're not, just go on YouTube and look for a Hitler rant parody or Hitler reacts to, and there is a great a scene that everyone loves to caption. It's all in German, and so people love to overdub their own captions for Hitler reacting to different things. I've done it myself, and in this case, it's Hitler rants about the presidential debate. And it's 6 minutes long, and we can't play it here because we'd get kicked off Facebook and YouTube. But what we're going to do is we'll link to it on our Facebook page, and you guys can watch it there. I got to imagine it's probably going to be pretty hilarious. But the thing is, Mike, okay, you have 2 minutes to respond, Mr. Speaker. All right. The other person's microphone should be off, right? And I'm sorry, when your time's up, your mic goes off. There was a whole series of NFL and NBA players going, listen, the umps and the refs would never allow this at our games.
No, you have a shot clock. You have a damn shot clock, okay? Simple enough.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I seriously, I don't like to post anything political on Facebook. I really don't, because it is such a polarizing thing. I hid or snoozed more people today than I have all year on Facebook, because I have adopted almost a zero tolerance policy here, that if you are seriously campaigning on Facebook, you want to point out stuff, okay. But if every post of yours is campaigning for a candidate, you're getting snoozed. If every post of yours is campaigning against a candidate, you are getting snoozed.
Well, because
Three snoozes, you are done. I'm gone. I don't need that kind of negativity in my life. That is not what Facebook is for me.
Well, and not only that, but
no.
According to the latest poll I read, 4% of the U.S. is undecided, that doesn't know who they're already voting for. All this hubbub, all this polarization, all of this posturing for 4%.
4.2%.
Okay, 4.2% who probably won't be affected by this stuff anyway.
He's making up numbers again. That's it.
Now, numbers in my head, I'm like number dyslexic. They just go through they scramble around.
Well, and I said I think, Mike. Okay.
Well, okay.
I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to interrupt me. You're trying to interrupt me so that I look old and confused.
Right there, because you said you think. It's very clear you do not belong on a presidential debate stage.
Well, I do have, supplemental aids here where people are feeding me answers, obviously. So, and I did take a performance enhancing, substance before the show. So
that one is insane. Cisco here saying amen. And now listen, you don't want to do that. Do not write me in. And do not there are certain mutual friends, don't let them see that, because you're going to get labeled a racist. Look.
Yes.
Anyway, listen.
It was an S show from both sides. Let's not mix words here. Neither side was great. The best side,
I believe.
The best side, I think, Mike, you and I discussed this. The winner is who you said earlier.
Jo Jorgensen.
Yes. Wasn't
She
there.
wasn't even on the damn stage.
Yes. Hands down, everyone agrees, won. Didn't answer a single question. Won.
Her website crashed last night during the debate because everyone started looking to see do I have another choice?
I mean, the Pirate Party actually picked up a state, I think, that they have an official candidate in now.
Is there another option? Yes, Jo Jorgensen, the libertarian. She plays hockey, for Christ's sakes.
Well, she should get all the illegals from Canada then to vote for her.
I just every time, and look, we tried, okay. We tried to break the system with a non-politician. And everybody's all up in arms, and this happened just before the debate, conveniently, that everybody's up in arms that a businessman played loopholes in the tax laws to reduce his tax liability. I've made the comment. I'm not defending Mr. Trump for doing so. But this is, listen, if you think that any businessman does not do this, they have entire teams of attorneys and tax lawyers to figure out how to reduce their tax liability. I watched a YouTube video of guys that review pickup trucks. And on April 15th last year, they drove 100-something miles to a dealership that had the specific truck with all of the options they needed because their tax accountant told them, you need to buy a $72,000 vehicle to offset your tax liabilities because that's an expense for the business.
There was actually I was watching a news clip, and Judge Hand wrote in a dissent in Comer v. Newman, and this was a quote that came out during the interview. This was in his ruling. He said, over and over again, courts have said that there is nothing sinister in so arranging one's affairs as to keep taxes as low as possible. Everybody does so, rich or poor, and all do right, for nobody owes any public duty to pay more than the law demands. Taxes are enforced exactions, not voluntary contributions. To demand more in the name of morals is mere cant.
No.
So what that's saying is there's nothing wrong legally with minimizing the amount of taxes that you have to pay. In fact, you are within your rights to play to the system to reduce it as much as possible. I mean, Colin, you and I know this from our dealing
deeper into the political part of this than we actually said we were going to. But
I just want to put this out because Colin and I have been independent contractors before, and so we know the ins and the outs a little bit of the tax system, and having to pay both sides of it. We do know you do go and try to find the deductions and things that make it so that you can pay as little as you absolutely have to. And there's nothing wrong with that. And a good tax person will tell you that's your right and your job. Really.
So if everything that's in the taxes that allows them to get out of taxes is proper and correct,
is legitimate
and legitimate, then you are absolutely correct.
Yes, I agree with you.
However,
I know.
Go ahead, Mike.
Well, no, there are discussions or allegations that payments were made in a certain manner that probably should not have been done. And I'm talking about Ivanka being a consultant.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, yes.
And an employee simultaneously, yes.
I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Those inconsistencies, yes. But
Yeah.
to turn a blind eye. See, now this is my whole thing. If you're going to be pissed off because Trump did it,
Mm-hmm.
do you really think that these other senators like Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, who have been in government for 30 plus years and are millionaires, do you think that they are not writing off this in a similar manner as far as the deductions? I'm not talking about the consulting, because I agree that's probably a gray area that somebody said we could, but we probably shouldn't.
Yeah, no.
I get that.
Like Colin said, as long as it's all done legally and on the up and up, there's nothing wrong with finding finding the correct deductions and minimizing the amount that you have to spend. Now, if somebody finds that it wasn't done correctly, then that is a problem. We can all agree to that, because right or wrong, that is a problem. And what took down Capone was tax evasion. It wasn't everything else he did, right? So I'm not saying that that's what Trump is. I'm just saying that has happened before. Right. It has taken down major things. In fact, I saw a headline from an article that said that the Watergate prosecutor said, very much so, this is can be a paralleled case, potentially, not knowing all of the evidence.
To me, what's much more worrisome with these figures that came out, because the question is, if there was nothing wrong, why has he been holding on to it? Okay, well, he doesn't like the look of not having paid taxes. Okay, I can understand that, but everybody's taxes, you rip off the Band-Aid, right?
Yeah.
And you don't have this thing going on for 4 years of everybody reveals their taxes to be president. You didn't. Why not? And to look at them and say you didn't really pay much taxes, that's not a good enough reason. So the other stuff coming out, stuff like the enormous amount of money that he owes on these loans that are about to come due, those are much more worrisome things when you're looking at...
Because that puts a chink in the credibility of him being a great businessman, right? Because that's his public persona. Well, let's. I think we need to jump off of this for a little bit here. Let's talk about. I think it was a good move. Biden came out, but pre-debate, and just published his out there, and said, "Here's mine. Have a look." I think that was a somewhat good, proactive move. But there were definitely missteps in the debate, on both sides. And like we said, it did seem like a toddlers fighting at kindergarten or preschool during that debate. And I haven't even seen it all. I'm just going off of the reactions of other people, because there's plenty of those to see today.
Yes. Let's go through it, because the reactions are much more interesting than the debate or Trump or Biden.
Yeah.
And we gotta take this in with a grain of salt. Like, we're looking at isolated comments. An example being one that I posted, which I believe has since been deleted, because I went through this person's Twitter feed and could not find this comment. Leah Thompson had posted at some point. What was her exact words? It was the worst thing I have ever experienced, and I made out with a duck.
Well, it's probably good that she pulled it down, because she's on Lifetime Network now on a lot of things, and the last thing you want to be is political on Lifetime. We know how well I'm sorry, she's on Hallmark quite a bit right now.
So my point being, using this as an example, you look at that single tweet, and she could very well be of my opinion that both sides just played this completely terrible and it was horrible. But you look at all of the other tweets around it, and it's very clear which side of the fence she is on.
Yeah.
So, Jeremy Slater, who is a writer in Hollywood, wrote, "That was the worst thing I've ever seen," and I wrote Fantastic Four.
Now, did he write the original one or that other one? That's what's
care.
important.
Colin, you posted up a similar one that.
Mark Hamill said this is the worst thing I've ever seen, and I was in the Star Wars Holiday Special, which is much, much worse than any of the other things that people have been listing.
This is true.
It's
so bad that if you've seen it, it's like a unicorn.
Stephen King posted, "Cut his mic when he interrupts," to which a fan of his responded, "This is a lot scarier than anything you wrote."
It's true.
Someone else, Omed Malik, wrote, "Just confirmed, debate number 2 is just a fist fight in the Chili's parking lot."
No, I'm sorry. It's Applebee's.
Okay.
Apparently you didn't get the memo.
Oh, change of venue. All right. Newcac says, "Why did I encourage my children to watch that? I should have let them do something more cognitively enriching and less verbally abusive, like playing Minecraft or watching TikTok videos."
Oh, that's the worst part. I mean, you think of all the poor kids who probably were given that as an assignment from school to watch it.
Oh.
So there was somebody posted up this whole big scripted post in the Sayreville in a community group where I live, right, on Facebook.
Uh-huh.
And talked about how when they were younger, their assignment was to watch the debate and write an essay on it. And the theme of it was, well, could you imagine having to watch? This is a big pet peeve of mine, people. If you're going to post up a thread in a community forum trying to spark discussion, don't turn commenting off the minute you post it.
Someone writes, "In what world are we living in that a presidential debate is described in the same way I used to describe a night out in college with my friends?"
So, Kat Dennings from Two Broke Girls and the Thor movies says, "Let's do the next debate like a 90s Miss America pageant. Nobody knows the questions in advance. They're handed mics when it's their turn to talk, capped off with a gratuitous swimwear segment."
I cannot watch this little nursing home fight. I'm having secondhand embarrassment.
So, okay, so there were some.
There was actually a Twitter tag debate S show.
Oh, yeah. So somebody, one of the, I got to find it here.
I shouldn't have taken an edible pregame. I have no idea if this debate is really this insane or not.
I wonder where they got the edible from. We're going to talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
Where is it? To somebody, because one of the, where are you? One of the actual analysts couldn't even get around it, and like, I'm just going to call it what it is. It's a shit show, and everybody tried to tiptoe around this, and listen, it's bad when Chris Christie, the former governor of New Jersey, actually who helped. He was on ABC and said he helped coach Trump for this debate. He even said this was terrible for both sides.
So Stephen Colbert last night took exception to the shit show remark. He said that was unfair to shows and shit.
Wow.
Somebody says, "Is Jerry Springer and Mary Povich going to be the moderators for 2 and 3?"
No. Samuel L. Jackson. I said 2 minutes, motherfucker.
Well, someone else said that it should just be Whoopi Goldberg because it was a lot like The View.
Oh.
I've never seen it, just what I saw. So
No,
I'm not sure if
because if it was The View, if it was The View, it'd be 4 against 1. That's
Is it totally normal to turn off the presidential debate in disgust and ugly cry watching old episodes of The West Wing?
Dude, I swear to God.
I was good. I was in
that's
a
what it is.
caboose watching The West Wing. So, yes, that was pretty
Dana
much me.
Bash, who was on CNN, her colleagues were trying to talk about what a mess the debate was, and she said, "You used some high-minded language. I'm just going to say it like it is. That was a shit show. Apologies for maybe being a little crude, but this is really the phrase that I'm getting, from people on both sides of the aisle, and it's the only phrase I can think of to really describe it. It's name calling. I mean, look, maybe just, and then there were little things that I noticed. Okay, so everybody was praising Biden for, this is about COVID. This is about your family, looking straight in the camera and talking directly to the American people. Okay, so he broke the fourth wall. I mean, Deadpool did that, and he didn't get no nominations or nothing.
Is that not what you're supposed to do during a debate? Is market yourself to the audience?
But when he was doing it, I kind of felt like his whole thing was, he screwed up, so give me a shot. Right, wrong, or indifferent. And again, alcohol-fueled viewing at this point.
Yeah.
But
remember, at the time that particular comment came up, it's when the attacks were going back and forth against families. And he basically said, this isn't about his family, it is about my family, it's about your family. I kind of like that comment.
If you're talking about because I read this one, when Trump mentioned that Biden's son had a drug problem.
Yeah, that was.
I'm sorry, but that's one. It's below the belt. All right, you're not there to debate his family. You're there to debate him, and two, it actually set up Biden for a perfect response, because do you know how many working families have drug addiction problems somewhere within their family lineage? I mean, the amount of relationship that you can garner with that alone, especially considering that as Biden tells it, his son persevered and overcame and is recovered now. Addiction is real and it happens to everybody. So that's not something to be made to downplay something for.
There are certain things that should have been off limits, right? And family, to an extent. I mean, there's no way that doesn't excuse the whole Ivanka consultant fee thing. But there are certain topics that should be off limits. Nobody talked about Pete Buttigieg's sexuality during the debates. That's kind of off limits, and he didn't grandstand about it either.
No.
So, and everybody was praising Joe for showing emotion and like pointing and getting at Trump about that one. Yeah, okay, I get it. But at the same time, nobody's pointing out how Biden was all confused with his math and stammering over for some stuff. Like at one point he said, of the 200,000 fatalities, many more died, when he's talking about COVID. I'm like, what does that even mean? During the first segment, they were talking about safety in the communities, and Biden turned that to how the president handled COVID. Meanwhile, COVID was a specific segment. So everybody, they were all over the map. They were us.
Yeah,
all over.
If Biden is stuttering, they're not going to talk about that because he actually has a stutter. If Biden is misspeaking, then that's different.
Well, I did, to your point, Mike.
It wasn't stuttering. It was misspeaking as far as
Yes.
And but I did also see where news outlets were saying, because they were, I don't know if it was CNN or another one, so I'm not going to say which one, but But they said that, Biden was off on his numbers when he said that if we would just, wear masks like the CDC and the task force, said that 100,000 people could be saved. And they said, well, that number has never been put out by the CDC. What was said by the CDC was that we could drastically reduce the amount of infection and fatalities within 8 to 12 weeks. And, okay, it would be impossible to actually quantify the number of lives you would save.
But yes, agreed.
But the fact that they said that we could virtually eliminate further spread in 8 to 12 weeks by just simply wearing masks, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to say, hey, that's going to result in a lot fewer deaths, if the infection rate goes down. So, yeah, he was reaching for he put out a number that had no scientific basis for the number itself, but the net effect still had a scientific basis. So they can knock him for pulling a number out of his ass, but at least it's not a number that isn't based somewhere in a thought, So I agree. But the other thing is, there's only 3 or 4 years in between the two of them. So neither one of them should be throwing stones about how elderly each other are.
Yeah, that's
all
true.
right? Because 3 or 4 years don't mean jack. Once you get past a certain age, you've just outrun the Grim Reaper at that point. All right?
Oh, yeah.
Both of them have been on our death list before. Okay, so there's no opportunity for them not to kick the bucket.
Yeah, side note, we haven't really posted anything because we felt it would be in poor taste to post updates, but we have been keeping track.
Yeah.
And don't worry. It's still happening. We have been keeping track.
We just thought it was a little
we'll
bit, like Mike said, in poor taste. So,
Not that the whole thing, some people have accused us of being in poor taste with the whole thing anyway, but in light of all the pandemic, we felt posting up about a contest probably.
Yeah. Probably not a great thing. Yeah. No.
Yeah, but I think we are still planning it for next year, so that is something we'll be discussing.
Yeah.
As of right now, yeah, we were. We may be changing it up, but we'll see.
Yeah.
But maybe we'll come up with a new who's going to get pregnant this year.
Well, Tracy Morgan getting everybody pregnant up in this bitch. So
So, Caitlyn Jenner.
Yeah, why not?
Listen. All right, so let's talk about something that's real close to home here. We mentioned about the edibles.
Yes.
Close to home for me, anyway.
Yeah.
And I specifically said that I wanted to bring this up because the comments in my community threads are ridiculous. Article comes across about a pizzeria in New Jersey. The owner and his wife produced marijuana edibles in their home to sell them.
Now, for those that are curious, recreational marijuana, not legal in New Jersey at this time.
Correct. It's on the ballot for November. And even then, there's still a lot of decisions that have to be made as far as the taxation and what have you. The ballot question is, should New Jersey legalize it? Yes or no?
Right. It's kind of an informational thing for then legislators to then pass a law that says we have decriminalized it. Because technically they can't legalize it. They can just decriminalize it because there's still federal laws that apply to it. And then they would have to come up with what the statewide standards are. And, of course, those always lead to county and city standards that then can be more enforceable than the state standards, but not less enforceable, because that has happened everywhere where it's been in play. So, yeah, there's usually from the time that it goes to vote for the general public to say whether they want to allow it or all the way to the point where it's actually you can walk into a shop and buy some, it's usually about 3 years, 4 years sometimes. Depends upon how aggressive the politicians are with the want of the tax revenue.
Yeah, but regardless, even if it was legal, let's say it was legalized 3 or 4 years ago in New Jersey, for example, they still wouldn't be able to do that.
I don't know too many.
So there's
dispensaries
there's
that
two
are home
things
run.
here. Well, that's just it. There's two things. New Jersey is one of the few states in the United States that it is illegal for you to bake or cook any consumable item, cookies, cake, dinners, pasta, whatever, in your house to sell.
Oh,
Home-based kitchen businesses are illegal in New Jersey.
wow. A bunch of Nazis there.
So you're talking about cakes and cookies.
Well,
Edibles.
edibles.
What in the hell would make you think that marijuana edibles could be made in a kitchen?
What types of
in your
edibles were they
house?
making? Now I want to know. Were they making?
Right?
Were they? Oh yeah, they were talking about marijuana-infused dinner events.
Yeah. Yeah. So somebody actually, I commented about that with the legality, and somebody actually had the nerve to reply back and say, "Are you comparing cake to marijuana?"
Yes.
I wanted to actually write back, "Are you consuming some of their edibles?" What part did you not understand about in your home? Now, in jest, I also said, anybody who's ever been to their pizza shop, nobody in their sober mind has come up with these kinds of pizzas. Okay, listen, they have the Candyland, which is corned beef, jalapenos, candied bacon, and sour cream. This is all on pizza. They have the Garfield. They have the chicken pot pie pizza. They have the Scooby Snacks pizza, which is fire-braised pork shoulder, sweet sesame glazed popcorn shrimp, and lemon zest on a pizza. They have a chicken and waffles pizza. They have the Wu-Tang pizza, which is sweet and sour coconut shrimp. They have the vampire repellent pizza, which is stuffed with mozzarella and topped with fresh garlic. I mean, they have all of these odd.
Oh, okay, I'm here for that one.
Is this the same people that owns Nunzio's Kitchen?
That's exactly who it is.
Okay,
Nunzio's Kitchen.
Because they also sell funnel fries with Nutella.
They sell a Nutella dessert pizza. Nutella pizza and a peanut butter and jelly pizza.
Okay, so my favorite pizza from a local place around here in town, which I don't need the name because no one will know it anyway. But I like double meatball with garlic. And they do put, top with garlic. That's a good pizza. But, like I said, I like weird pizza. But every single one of those ones you just named, Mike, has one thing wrong with it. Like, shrimp shouldn't be on pizza.
Well,
no.
And I mean, they have all regular pizzas as well, but like, now they got rid of one. They got rid of some because we used to when we first moved here. This was like the, everybody told us, oh, you got to go there. They used to have a chicken and waffle pizza.
Who the hell puts blue cheese on a freaking pizza? That's just ridiculous.
Is it buffalo?
Well,
No, it just says with blue cheese sauce.
Where?
The Mr. Saturday Night.
Yeah, it's
sausage, cherry tomatoes, walnuts with a blue cheese
walnuts.
sauce.
I mean, but they also have the Buffalo Soldier, which is chicken with hot sauce and blue cheese. So it's probably the same thing. It's like a blue cheese drizzle. But my point is, like that's what I said. They used to have the chicken and waffle one, which was a pizza that had Eggo waffles, chicken fingers, and maple syrup. Which to me was actually kind of stupid because you couldn't eat it by biting it. You had to take it apart to eat it. But nobody thinks about, no sober person would ever think about making a pizza like that.
No.
Right?
No. I assumed that they used like a waffle mix to make like one of those large fattish waffles and put chicken on top of it. That sounded interesting. But if you just made a pizza and then throw some Eggos on top of it, That sounds like something from a comedy sketch.
I don't know, but their funnel fries with Nutella on them look like a bowl of cigarette butts. That's what it looked like.
I mean, look, they've got some good food. I'm not going to take that away from them, but the fact that they were doing this stuff, they were selling it. Now, the other comments were, "Oh, it's going to be legal in a month anyway. Hopefully, the charges get dropped." No, that's not how this works.
No.
That's not how any of this works. Okay, the fact that
Now, occasionally, I will say occasionally, when they do legalize or decriminalize marijuana, sometimes, like as in Illinois, along with that decriminalization, there wasn't a clemency, but there was a sentence reduction that was applied to. Now, usually they were misdemeanors.
I was going to say, now that would probably be the case if this was possession.
Right, or there was a
possession.
Actually, what it was there was a pathway to getting the charges removed from your record so that it wouldn't mess with future employment status. That's what it was, because I remember writing something about this at the time. But there was a way that you could petition through the district attorney's office to get those charges waived off of your permanent record.
Oh, you could get them expunged.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Well, okay, yeah, and I would agree that somebody who got arrested for possession, meaning you had a couple ounces on you or whatever.
Yeah,
okay.
I think it was under like 5 grams or something like that. It was a minimal amount. What could be considered for personal use?
They had 25 pounds.
Yeah, that's a bit much. It's a bit much.
With their 2 children.
Yeah, that's a little bit much. That goes right along with the note that I saw that a Florida teacher wrote to parents going, please, during our Zoom meetings, do not walk behind your children who are on camera wearing nothing but underwear or less, or smoking joints as big as cigars.
Have you seen the video of the mother doing that?
Yeah.
And then you look at the camera going, "Oh crap!"
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah,
now,
yeah, Mike, bad
quick,
things.
I don't know if you're going to be able to show this or not. Well, no, you know what? We're not going to do that. Okay. I'm going to send this to you, but not to. Okay. This is not to post up. But just to. Let me go back. This is the guy on the right is the one in question.
Oh, the one with the neck tattoo. Yeah, I would have never imagined that.
He also has a handlebar mustache at this point, because I know I've seen him around. So very, very artsy type, right?
Yeah. And his
being said,
and his name's Michael. You always got to watch out for those guys.
Yes, you do.
Nothing can be good from a guy named Michael. Or always there was a little bit shady. Yep.
So is brother Marco there? Is he still running the restaurant?
Probably.
Full sleeve tattoos on both of them. I'm not saying that that's necessarily an indicator of a bad thing, but
no. And like I said, if you look up their food, a lot of their food, they have good food. Like their dinners are excellent. But at what point do you say maybe we're pushing this a little bit?
Yeah,
a little bit too far.
Speaking of the tattooed individual, seeing those tattoos, I brought up this story about a man who says that his name is Sylvain Helane. He's age 35. Now, his occupation is teacher, but he was recently told that he could no longer teach kindergarten. All right? Because he was scaring the children. Now, you think, okay, creepy old guy maybe? No. Like I said, he's 35. The problem is he started getting tattoos at the age of 27.
So he's been teaching for 8 years.
Yeah.
This transformation has taken 8 years.
Yeah, all the while evolving himself into what he is today, which I'm going to see if I can find a better picture because I don't have a full body picture of him, and that would be really good.
I don't even think we need a full body picture to.
But he is quite
listen,
odd,
folks. All you need to hear. This guy is so serious about this. He had a surgical procedure to dye the whites of his eyes black.
Yeah.
Not contact lenses. Permanently dyed his eyes black. What in the mother effing hell is this?
I'll show you. Here, this is this man. All right. Yeah. That's his front, and that's his back. There's not much for him to get sunburned anymore.
So let me just say that Ripley's, believe it or not, has basically done a reverse mortgage on his skin.
Mike mentioned his eyes.
Dies,
there you can see his eyes that are totally black.
When he dies, Ripley's has first rights to make a wall covering out of his skin.
Yeah.
Because that's a thing too, right?
Oh, yeah. Doctore Morer Elementary School, which is a private school, says that parents of a 3-year-old child complained to educational authorities because their child had nightmares after seeing the teacher. So a couple months later, school authorities informed him he would no longer be able to teach kindergarten children.
All right, so let him teach high school kids.
So he's no longer allowed to educate children under 6. Instead, now he is a first-grade teacher. He said
because that 1 year makes a difference.
He hoped to show his pupils that they should accept people for who they are, even if they're different from the norm. Maybe when they are adults, they will be less racist and less homophobic and more open-minded. And I can add, maybe not afraid of aliens when they come to visit. Because this man is weird. All right?
First grade is a good... Thing is, the kindergartners will still see him in the school. So they'll give him a full year to get used to the fact that he exists. And then next year, he'll actually be their teacher.
He says, I'm a primary school teacher. I love my job. He started having tattoos at age 27 when he had, quote, an existential crisis. And since then, he says getting tattoos is his passion. All right, there's a lot of things that I consider my passion. Covering my body in ink, not one of them.
Yeah.
The fact that he spent... Go ahead.
I was going to say, if this is France, I have no idea what would happen if this was the U.S.
Well, he'd be making the rounds in a traveling circus because no school in the world would hire him.
No. In the U.S., no. He would be a music teacher, or he would be in Hollywood, or working the Ripley show. He'd be doing something. I'm just thinking he spent like 460 hours in a tattoo chair. I know how much that one stupid character tattoo that I have on the back of my neck cost. And I was in the chair for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So
My wife has a Mickey Mouse
God.
that took about an hour. And, it was about $250, $300, something like that.
Okay. All right. So we're going to say $300 an hour.
Uh-huh.
Time. 460 hours. This dude spent more than I make in a year
Yeah.
on tattoos.
Now, that's not counting surgical procedure to darken his eyes.
More than I make before taxes.
And then his ears are, like, pointed. So...
Yeah, so the guy got not only... So he got the cosmetic shit. Does he have any, like, under the skin, like, implants? Like, the ones that make you look like you have, like, ridges or bumps or anything?
I don't see any of those yet, but give him time, because he's run out of real estate to decorate. He's going to have to go to the inside soon.
But yet he won't do piercings.
Yeah, that's weird.
I guess that's the line.
Yeah. He'll have his...
I can't tell you what the nationwide rule is. I can tell you that the rule in California, which is always the state with the most stringent employment laws, you can be fired. In California, yes, they can fire you for a tattoo.
It's just it's really bizarre, you know. Well, here, maybe I found his soulmate. You know, maybe I found the woman of his dreams. Yeah,
no, you didn't.
Yeah, I did. Maybe it's her.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Okay.
So.
Why not?
69-year-old from Florida. Oh, Jesus.
I was going to say, when this guy gets old, right, he's going to look like just a giant blob.
Yeah. They're not going to know when he falls and has a bruise. You know?
So since we're talking about blobs here, I want to talk about something. I discovered a new show, and I don't know if you guys watch this or not. I've been binging Doom Patrol.
I watched it. I think I'm caught up.
I think I've watched a couple episodes.
It's got Brendan Fraser in it.
Yes. And the voice of Brendan Fraser.
Well, he's in the costume.
No, he's not.
I thought he was in the costume.
He's not in the costume, and what's his name from Suits? He is not under the bandages.
Oh, it's not?
No.
Huh. Okay, I thought that he was.
No.
Apparently, Brendan Fraser sometimes appears in the suit, but very rarely.
No. He
does other
why?
voices.
Because he's actually credited in. Because there are some episodes where he appears as himself.
Oh, okay.
Without the suit, like pre-suit. That's why I'm saying, like, so he's actually acted in some episodes, but most of them not. It's been voice acting only. Same thing with why am I blanking on his damn name? Matt Bomer.
Okay.
When they do flashbacks and what have you, he appears as himself acting, but under the bandages, his character is not. It's somebody else. I'm so hooked on that show now, and I'm mad that I wasn't watching it sooner.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Matt Bomer was in Suits. He was in.
Maybe I had the wrong show. White Collar. That's. I'm sorry. You're right.
Okay.
I had the wrong show. Guys in Suits. Same thing.
Yes. Well, White Collar is a much better show.
Never watched either one, so that might explain why I got confused.
Okay. Well, I do recommend watching White Collar.
Okay.
So I think I'm all caught up on that. Is Wax Patrol was the last episode? I think I watched that one.
Yeah, I'm halfway through season 2.
Okay.
because I had these other stupid movies I had to watch.
Yeah, I'm all caught up with that. Yep. So. Oh no.
Mike, White Collar is available.
Okay.
For watching.
Okay.
Oh, are they? Is it canceled?
What?
Is Doom Patrol canceled?
No, it's on HBO Max now.
Oh, okay.
It moved from was it DC Universe?
Yeah.
So season 2 was simultaneously on DC Universe and HBO Max. Season 3 is going to exclusively be on HBO Max.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, they need to figure out what they're going to do about DC Universe.
It's going to be comic only. So all animated series and what have you are going to move to HBO Max. DC Universe is going to be like graphic novel only, from what I heard, or the one article I read. I gotta be careful when I say how I phrase that, since HBO Max, DC, Warner Media. Hello, hi. I gotta be careful.
Well, I like to be on HBO Max because I get that for free, so that's good. Yeah, with my phone package.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. All right. Gotcha. Yep. Going on HBO Max, like you said. So, all right.
The other one that I watched was on Netflix called Away. With Hilary Swank. It's about a mission to Mars.
Yeah, that one kind of pissed me off, so I didn't bother watching it. How was it?
What? Okay, so what part pissed you off? Where did you go off the rails?
Because the idea that there was astronauts who had interpersonal problems and didn't trust their commander, and et cetera, it's so not how astronauts work.
Yeah.
That kind of pissed me off. I mean, that just does not happen. If you have people with those kinds of problems, you're not an astronaut.
True.
Only one astronaut I know of who's ever had any issues like that, and that's that crazy woman who went across the country wearing diapers.
What?
Oh, several years ago, there's a female astronaut who went cross country to about a boyfriend or something.
I can't believe I'm typing this in. Female astronaut
Lisa Marie
diapers.
Nowak. She was an aeronautical engineer, former United States Navy captain, naval flight officer, and test pilot, and NASA astronaut. Diaper-wearing astronaut jailed in love triangle plot.
What the shit? This is... Denver, of course. This is what happens when you legalize marijuana, New Jersey.
Yeah, that's what happens, for sure, yeah. Of course, yeah. I think this was before they legalized marijuana, Mike. Maybe they should have legalized it earlier, and they should have regulated it, because I bet she got a bad batch. That's what happened. Yeah. She got some with a little bit of the angel dust in it.
Go easy on that there, Smoke. PCP, angel dust. Next thing I know, I woke up in Tebow chicken coop.
So, Colin, one of the reasons why we are going live on a Wednesday tonight instead of Monday was we had some veterinary personal issues. We had some other stuff going on. Plus, you had some connectivity concerns because you were riding the rails like a hobo. All we heard was, I'm in a caboose. And I didn't want to take that as a sexual meaning because it's you. So I assume you were actually, traveling the rails, right?
No, it was a non-traveling caboose. Put the picture up.
Okay.
Now, I will admit, I showed the picture to Kim, and she was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." And then I showed her the other picture, and she said, "Who are those kids with him?" I said, "No, that's the stock picture."
So you were
that is pretty cool.
Route 66 Cozy Caboose.
Now,
this is
I didn't notice.
A KOA.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mike.
Okay. So I didn't notice that there were actual like trailers in the background. Were your parents there with their trailer?
No, I was by myself.
Okay.
Originally, there was an idea. My parents did have a reservation. They were going to bring down their new pop-up, their new hard side pop-up to try it out for the first time with a full sewer connection and stuff. But the construction started on the new kitchen
for the murder toilet.
Exactly. But construction started on their new kitchen remodel. So they had to cancel because they had to be out for that. So I was down there by myself. The reason I went there, there was like a 40% off sale like a month ago for like 2 days. So I was like, oh, okay. Well, I've been thinking I really need to get away from, work because I haven't taken a day off in months. So I'll go down and stay in the caboose for a couple of days.
Yeah. Now, while you were down there, did you happen to find a caboose companion, maybe?
No, unless you count some of those giant stink bugs we got around there now.
I mean, we're always looking out for you, Colin, right? I mean, we're always trying to help you out however we can, even though you won't let us create a profile on Plenty of Fish or Match or Christian Mingle or J-Date or any of those.
No.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Mike's been begging me to do it, and I've been saying,
Do
nope, we got to hold off.
drag me
Colin said we can't do it
into
yet.
this hell with you. No.
And, even though your sister has been sending us information going, here's his likes and dislikes, and,
Not us.
it'd be nice to have another redhead in the family, and,
You cut that shit out.
but,
Prick.
a man has listed himself for sale on Facebook. So now there's another outlet that we could potentially advertise you on. Now we would...
There's another potential outlet for me not to be advertised on. That's correct.
Yeah, so after being single for 11 years, he has decided to list himself on Facebook for sale in a bid to find a girlfriend.
Why would you pull this up when my drink is empty?
Well,
Why would you do this now?
in case you needed to get a refill and you wanted plausible deniability. So it says...
Okay. Oh, that's the reason? Okay.
So it says, hello there, ladies. I'm Alan, and I'm 30 years old, and I'm looking for a lovely lady to talk to and maybe more, as I got a few weddings to go to, and I don't want to go alone. I tried dating sites, not had any luck, so I thought I'd give this a shot. Now, this man, Alan, who I'll put up on the screen now, looks like a nice enough guy, But he said, "Yeah, I'm tired of the dating sites. I got myself a dog, I got myself a horse, I'm on a boat, and he lives in Kettering, England. And I can't say reading the article that has been fairly successful for him. He said he has gone out on a couple of dates, but who knows? That's England's for sale on Facebook. For sale on Facebook here." People give away garbage and it gets taken, So we could have a lot more luck with you. I mean, we got all kinds of stuff. I mean, there's a ton of high quality Colin quantity left to give. We could say, listen, he's a caboose man. So if you got plenty of caboose, he's not opposed to that. But as long as you got a strong engine to pull it, he's good with that too. Just don't have too many cars. He doesn't like a whole lot of area for baggage. Just saying, it's an option, Colin. If you ever want us to put you out there, now we have yet another option. And this one's free. It doesn't cost us anything. So,
Yeah. If anybody calls, let them know that you gave them the wrong number and give them yours instead.
No, that would very much be a bad thing. I do not need any more calls. Thank you very
Oh, I
much.
wouldn't be sending. No. I wouldn't be giving them your number.
Okay, we'll give him Mike's number. He's not listening
No.
anyway.
No, I'm giving them your wife's number. Let them call her.
Oh no. Oh, so but I will tell you one thing that Mike will definitely agree with, that regardless of whether it's you or somebody else, that whomever else, you should not invest. Where the hell's Mike? Where the hell did Mike go? Mike should come back. This is his article that's next. All right, because we got at least 10 minutes before our movie review, and so I was going to cover the big article that he brought up next, which was it's a protection article. It's very important. It's something that's close to Mike's heart, evidently.
Mike's been replaced by a cat.
Yeah, a cat who just went out the door. So, there he is. Okay, now he's back. He's got himself some water. He can stay hydrated. That's always good. So, all right. So anyway, like I said, regardless of whether it goes poorly or well, what you should not do is invest or utilize used condoms.
No.
Don't
do it.
As Mike brought up in our private chat, evidently this is becoming an issue.
Yes, and the funny part was you posted up the exact same article and saying, well, it's becoming more of an issue.
Oh, did I post the same Yahoo article?
You literally put, well, I don't know if it was the same. Let me see. So mine came from 2Fab.
Okay.
You posted the same story from Yahoo.
Okay.
And I said, this is not, it happened, of course, in Vietnam.
Yeah.
Where recycling is king.
Where they're very ecologically minded.
They recycle everything there.
Yes.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Huge.
Mm-hmm.
They
which we got an ad for the company that does the recycling.
They were washing well, they had the decency to wash them.
Yeah, thank goodness. And repackage.
And reselling them.
Yeah.
How? Why? Nothing. No. That just. First of all, who's buying them?
Yeah. Well,
right?
Mike,
if you that cheap,
with good marketing, you can sell anything. And here is some great marketing. I'm going to show you the commercial that they just published.
Jimmy here from Jimmy's Used Jimmy Covers, Southwest Michigan's #1 used condom shop, and now a legitimate business in the eyes of the state. After a brief incarceration for celebrity stalking and other similar cases, I'm back with hella good deals on used condoms. Ribbed, smooth, scented, and glow in the dark. You name it, and we got it. And we got it used. Just like this one. Rumors say that it was worn by none other than Charlie Sheen. And you too can wear it for the low price of $18.33. And we got plenty others for $6.57 a piece. Remember, they worked once, they'll work twice. Check out this baby. It's caught plenty of babies. Celebrities not really your thing? That's okay. We have used condoms from regular folk just like yourself. Check out these Trojans that we found in the high school parking lot. Sure, it's got a couple scrapes and it has a few miles on it. But for this price, you can't beat it. School's back in session, and so is our deals. Bring in any used condom and get another used condom for equal or lesser value. So come on down to Jimmy's Used Jimmy Covers shop, where a great deal isn't the only thing you'll catch.
I mean, how can you turn down advertising like that?
Remember how we said there's a line you don't cross?
Uh-huh.
This is one of those things that shouldn't even be joked about, okay? This is a joke like this. It's the reason that the Tide Pod Challenge came to exist, okay? Some schmuck in high school is going to see this and be like, oh, I can wash and reuse them? And there's going to be a flood of babies in the lower income areas.
Yes.
You can't joke about some of this stuff. I mean, I'm sorry. You just don't do it.
Well, and that's why they're putting out PSAs now, just for this issue. You know, so it's important that we watch for the signs and that we know what to do. So there's been a PSA developed for this, Mike, and as PTR
PSA
Radio
for this, okay.
We're happy to show that so that people can be educated.
You meet on the moors. A man someone down the pub told you about. You say the code word, give him the special hand signal, 3 rubs, and the deal is done. You're buying a used condom. After all, it was cheaper, and the man did say he'd washed it. But how do you know? Just think of where it's been. Even if you know the man, never buy a used condom.
So, yep. I mean, we got to have those types of messages out there, Mike. It's important.
The British Unused Condom Association.
I hate myself.
So,
Can't be a real thing.
No, I did check just to see if what Facebook Marketplace or eBay had. And
you are looking for used condoms on Facebook Marketplace?
Wow.
I thought, hey, if there was, it'd be good content. The closest I could find was eBay has tons of new old stock. But it says, due to age, the condoms may have changed color a bit. I'm trying to go, why are you selling these?
I'm only laughing because for at least the next week, your recommended searches are going to be so fun.
No,
Every time you log on to any service, it's going to say, hey, want to buy a used condom? We can direct you to the reseller. Or condoms in bulk.
No, I was a little smart on that.
Maybe you can go through who I went through in the early 90s. CondomCity.com. They might still be around. You never know.
I can't.
Oh. Oh, thank God for incognito windows.
Exactly.
Thank God it's 8:30. Never thought I'd hear myself happy to get to these stupid freaking movies.
Oh, boy. Who knew Colin's trip to the cozy caboose would lead us to condom talk?
Wow, there are so many innuendos here, I don't know what to think. Please let us go to the movies.
All right, folks, it's time now for the PTR Radio Double Feature Movie Review. This is where we find 2 movies. We find 2 movies every show to go through. And these are from the recommendations. The Netflix, hey, you might be interested in, or the YouTube, or the Amazon, hey, these are the related movies that you may want to watch. We look for the diamonds in the rough, the ones that you might not be aware of. Maybe they were the ones that were made before you were born. Maybe they were the ones that are the horrible parodies of other movies that you've seen.
Maybe they were the ones that your parents watched on a drive-in while you were conceived.
Could be. Any of those things are potential
Because your
things.
daddy bought a used condom.
Yes. Any of those things are possible, and you won't know. By the way, I meant to say happy birthday to Papa Blair. It's his birthday today, according to Facebook. while we're bringing up the subject. So yes, but yes. So we picked two movies. Tonight's movies are Venus in Vegas, a fairly recent movie. I think it was 2007. And then The Heavenly Kid, which was an 80s decade movie, which was kind of an interesting. It was a throwback movie. I had personally seen it before, so it was nice. It was a nice rewatch for me. So which one do we want to start with, guys?
Colin, you got a preference?
Let's go alphabetic. So Heavenly Kid first.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. And Colin, I don't think you had seen this one before.
I had not seen it.
All right, so I will let you go first.
Okay,
Go ahead.
Heavenly Kid, it's a movie much in the line of Wonderful Life, any of the Christmas carols. The story of actually the closest thing this would be is Quantum Leap. We have a character who is being sent in to help another character, and it turns out, of course, that the character is playing the guardian angel who's trying to get into heaven character turns out to be related to other people, and anyway, I don't know. It's a very derivative movie. I found it interesting that the time frames of this guy who's wearing a leather jacket was, like the like Fonzie type, and suddenly is in the 80s. I don't know. My problem with this movie is that there's a lot of stuff in this movie that is plot line that it's like it's assumed like that's the way the world works. Like people get in cars and race them towards the edge of a I'll say cliff. That's not what I was looking for, but you go to the edge of a cliff and see which one, you're playing chicken with the cliff. I don't know. It's like the movie expects you to believe that this is something that just happens. And it doesn't, as far as I know in the real world. I don't know. But that being said, I found this movie very interesting. I liked some of the acting. I liked some of the characters. I found myself enjoying it, so I will give it a smile.
All right, smile from Colin. Mike, had you seen this one before? I couldn't remember.
Yes, I have.
Okay, so I'll let you go next, and then I'll play cleanup.
Okay. So, this film marks the first leading role for one young Jason Gedrick, who immediately was thrown into the 80s trivia mix by getting cast as Doug in Iron Eagle. We also get treated to Lewis Smith. He had just enough time to grow out the blonde locks that he had to wear while playing Perfect Tommy in Buckaroo Banzai. And it goes downhill from here. So listen, let's analyze the truck scene where what's Perfect Tommy is trying to prove to Jason Gedrick that he's really dead. If the driver could see Bobby, wouldn't he have honked the horn or slowed down or something? Wouldn't that have been proof that okay, maybe I'm reaching. I don't know. The awesome 80s special effects of them floating in midair or the bike riding itself. This is the pinnacle of industrial light and magic in the 80s. Kids holding red leather pants that are coming up to his chin, but they go all the way down to his shins. Somebody want to explain how these are supposed to fit? Here's where this movie makes history. Because according to trivia, this is the first time in a major motion picture that two guys shared a joint on screen. I can't believe it took this long. It's a movie that I actually remember seeing in the theaters when I was a kid. I probably should have led with that. So, because of that, this is going to get a nostalgic smile from me. Decent twist on the whole guardian angel tale, I guess. Doesn't get too corny, doesn't get too obnoxious. Yeah, there are some plot holes, but it's a decent enough flick that you could watch with the fam. I'm still not... The heaven scenes actually are the ones that kind of messed me up with the whole uptown, riding the train. That part kind of didn't make a whole lot of sense. Or took away from the movie. I don't know. How come Rafferty, or was his name Rafferty?
Mm-hmm.
How come Rafferty never got to go uptown? I mean, he's so busy taking all of these guys on. How come he never? Did they ever explain why he didn't go up to uptown?
Well, it's his job.
Well, it's a shitty job.
All right. My turn. All right. So, like Mike, I had seen this before, and I've actually seen it several times over the years. Remember seeing it fairly close to when it came out. As I remember, it was one of my dad's more favorite movies. Just simply because, 85 or so, that was when my dad was really into different types of movies, and the mid-80s series, especially like the comedy stuff. This was one where him and my mom could both watch the same movie and still be happy about it, and that's was good. It was rare that they could find a movie that they both agreed on. So, yes, Jason Giedrick, before he became Doug in Iron Eagle, this, kind of kickstarted his career. Also starring Richard Mulligan, who, if you guys don't know who he is, was also a star in Soap and had another show on television called Empty Nest, which was actually a spin-off of Golden Girls, for those of you that love Golden Girls. So, yes, it was a spin-off. He played a doctor who had seen one of the girls, and they decided that character was good enough for a spin-off. So, anyway, Heavenly Kid is one of a long line of this type of movies. Chris Rock did a similar movie where went up to heaven, had to prove himself to decide whether he was going to heaven or to hell. There's also another one, Case for Your Life or something like that. There's a lot of these types of movies where you have to make good, So in this one, like Colin said, guy comes, the greaser character comes back down to earth. Turns out he's been actually secretly assigned to his son to turn him from nerd to head turner, and teach him what life is really about, and that he has a friend and that he's worth, living, that kind of thing. Of course, the guy ends up actually falling for the girl that was always his friend all along, rather than the hot, easy girl. Although, one point which is a little bit different than the normal in these types of movies, the guy does bone the hot chick a couple of times before he goes back to the nerdy friend. So, hey, at least he got that. But all in all, pretty good movie. I like this movie. Like Mike said, there's a little bit of plot holes in here. Why didn't they just make the bar bigger and let people hang out in the bar rather than riding the train? How many cars are on this train, for Christ's sakes? It was kind of interesting to see that. Plus, we never did see the staircase for going downtown. It would have been interesting to see what the guards there looked like. So things like that. But overall, it's a fun, good time movie that, like you said, it's more family friendly. It's a decent watch. It's a PG-13 movie, but there's, other than some innuendo, there's nothing that you can't, watch with the family. So I give this one a smile, if nothing else, just for the nostalgia that it brings back for me. So, smile for me.
We got
All
three
right.
smiles.
Yeah. All right. Next up, Venus and Vegas, I think is the name of the movie, right? Yep. Venus and Vegas, which is actually a 2010 film. So we'll go in the same order. All right. Colin, you're up first.
Okay, Venus Vegas. From watching the trailer, I expected something that was a little more Ocean's 11-ish, maybe a little bit of caper. And, I love caper movies. So I was very disappointed that this was not really a caper movie. I mean, yes, it can be labeled a caper movie the same way that a piece of pepperoni could be called a pizza. This was. That being said, while the plot of this movie is really stupid and almost unwatchable as far as the plot goes, what is really interesting about this movie is the cast. It's like they opened up, their book of all of the most stereotypical, best known, hey, it's that guy. It's like they went to the hey, it's that guy casting company and said, hey, we need all those guys who everyone says, hey, it's that guy. And that was the entire cast. It's like almost everybody in the cast you would recognize and say, hey, it's that guy. For example, the main mob guy is John Polito, who died a couple years back. But he's like the most stereotypical, that's a bad guy character actor you've ever heard of. If Shaggy stuck his picture up, you'd go, oh, yeah, it's that guy. Florence Henderson is in this movie playing completely against type, which was interesting. The other main bad guy is played by Paul Ben Victor, which is interesting because he usually plays a more straight character. So this one, he's more of a goofy guy. So that was anyway. It was interesting seeing a whole bunch of character actors that I recognized playing not necessarily exactly the way that they usually do play themselves. I found that interesting. And because of that, just because of the actors in it and watching them work, I'm going to give it a smirk. But don't watch this movie for its plot.
All right. Mike?
Let me start by saying that the opening footage of Vegas makes me hope that things get back to normal before I turn 50, because a trip to Vegas has got to be in the cards soon. I want to know what kind of security driver drives a Hyundai Santa Fe. Probably budget security. What in the actual hell? What's he doing with the phone and the horse? And we're getting into a little too much detail there. And this is coming about what he's doing with his phone. And this is coming from a guy who watches The Incredible Dr. Pol every week. Jamie Presley, when she was young. And Florence Henderson is still hot at her age. Go ahead, fight me. If you had to guess which one was playing the slut in this movie, who would you guess? Guess what? You'd be wrong. The stripper shooting ping pong balls. Yep, that just happened. And she usually doesn't have an assistant. I've heard. So I've heard. Joe Rogan is playing himself in this movie. I think his little speech at the strip club was 100% improvised. There is no way in hell that he wrote that off script. And that was straight out of one of his podcast episodes. So they got Finch tied up in a chair, and a dude points a cordless drill at him in a threatening manner, but it's got a Phillips head screwdriver bit. These are the kinds of things I notice when I'm watching these movies. You don't threaten somebody with a screwdriver, you threaten them with a drill bit. I'm not even a mobster or Flo getting freaky. She looks amazing for 137 years old. I want to know how the horse did not poop out that phone after that long, let alone that the battery was still hanging on. During the craps game, I finally realized who Flo's boyfriend was. That's Jackie the Joke Man Martling, who was famous from the Howard Stern show way back when Howard Stern was the thing. They're in the Butt Bongo Fiesta days. So they said, out of your cotton picking mind. I'm asking for a friend. Is this one of those phrases that we're not allowed to say anymore? I just want to asking for a friend just to make sure here. The credit scene with Rogan straight up confirms that he ad-libbed his entire performance. I'm puke to Schnikes. I'm going burp on this one, just below a meh. This tried too hard to tie every character's story together, and it wound up bringing the overall grade down. This could have been a decent direct-to-video type movie if you probably wouldn't never think of unless you're a huge fan of one of the actors, but this whole trying to do a Traffic type thing where everybody's story, or Valentine's Day type thing where everybody's story ties together neatly in a nice little bow, it don't work. This is a knot that turns into an anchor that dragged the Titanic down. So, burp.
All right. All right, so, yeah. I'm going to agree with a lot of what everybody said. Okay, ping pong scene. I thought they were in Vegas, not Tijuana. All right. I'm confused about where this is taking place. All right.
Crazy Horse 2.
Horse scene. What was going to happen there? Because when he pulled a condom out of his pocket, I almost turned it off. Because I didn't think I wanted to watch anymore because I didn't want to be on a list. So, and I know flip phones had a good battery life, but I don't know how long he's in between races. And everybody using a flip phone in this thing. This was 2015. This was 2010. We weren't all using flip phones in 2010 with wired earpieces. Were we really 10 years ago? I don't think so. I don't believe it was that long ago. I think the first iPhone was out then. It would just be weird. I mean, you'd look like Mike looks right now, with one wire hanging down. It'd just be uncomfortable.
Because you don't have one wire hanging down.
Yeah, I have big ass headphones though that make it look like I got one. Yeah. Anyway, so these three are criminals and they rob people for a living. That is their occupation, and one of them's girlfriend doesn't know that. Is that how this? I don't understand how this all works. He lives with his grandma and they're giving him crap about it. About how good she looks, and holy crap, Florence Henderson does look good. Mike is absolutely right. She looks amazing in this. And I tried to find a recent picture of Florence Henderson, and I could not find it. I was going to bring it up. I was going to even try and pull a clip from this movie and find it, and I just didn't have time. But if nothing else, if you're just going to speed watch through this movie to see Florence Henderson, do that. All right. There are a lot of plot holes in this movie. But it doesn't, the movie is still interesting. But the one thing that I didn't like about this movie was the biggest name character in this movie, the biggest name in my mind in this movie, Eddie Keane Thomas. Okay. The guy who played Paul Finch in the American Pie movies, which had at least 2 American Pie movies under his belt and was the person that people were seeing in this movie. They watched this movie to see him. Wasn't in this movie as much as you would have thought. He was off camera more than he was on camera because he was the one that got abducted. All right. And Colin's right. The who's who of everybody else that you think you know is on camera. And while they did give Abraham Benrobi, I don't know how the hell you say his last name, that guy from ER and Parker Lewis Can't Lose, a lot of screen time, and he is kind of funny. I don't know that everybody went to go see him in the theaters or online. So I give this one a meh. they could have done a lot better. It could have been a lot more interesting. They could have had more caper in it and less of the side stories. The baby story could have been gone away. The horse story could have gone away. Figure out another way to bring the grandma in, because Florence Henderson was great in her act. Lots of potential with the cast they had, but just I think they got away from it by trying to do too much, like Mike said. So, yeah, meh for me.
Yeah, so to fill in a couple facts there, Shaggy.
Uh-huh.
That was the year of the iPhone 4.
Okay, so well beyond flip phone.
Florence Henderson during shooting was probably 75.
Okay. Yes. Yes.
So I put up the picture. Can you pop that up real quick?
Yeah. Oh, you didn't find Florence Henderson, though. Why didn't you find Florence Henderson?
No.
Find a hot Florence Henderson. That's the picture people want to see. But yeah, I can throw that up.
The ultimate, yeah, it's that guy. See, it's just one of those ultimate. Hey, yeah, that's that guy.
Yeah. So, yeah, like I said, a good movie, but just okay.
Yeah.
All right, but now we got to figure out the next two movies that we're going to watch.
Oh, Lord.
Mike loves this part of the show.
Yeah, I do. Okay, 1 to 30.
Okay, 1 to 30 for the internet random machine. Here we go. 1.
There's no way in hell that this is still going to be on. Oh, my God, it is. Okay.
All right.
On Amazon.
What are we watching?
Prey TV.
That is a rundown TV station is being buried in the ratings when a promoter devises a scheme to save it.
Dabney Coleman and Archie Hahn.
From 1981.
I did not think that was still going to be available.
Okay. From the director who brought you Spy Hard. And Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, Our Music Video. Yes, that director.
So,
all right, second one, 27.
No. Don't like this, where this is going. On Netflix, opening night. It's about the Topher Grace movie about musicals.
Mike loves musicals. If this is their first night listening, Mike is
Son of
infatuated with musicals. He can't get enough, especially if it happened to have been a British musical. Oh, my God, that's his total jam. In this case, once a rising star on Broadway, Nick is now the perennially pestered production manager for a new musical dedicated to rock music's one-hit wonders. Yes. Cast Topher Grace, Alana Tal, and Anne Heche. Oh, that is going to be so great, Mike. You're going to love it.
I can't remember if I put this one on or if I put that Will Ferrell one on.
With what?
I didn't put both.
Oh, you're
At one point,
you're talking about the Fire Saga.
Yes. I either put Fire Saga on because I saw this one. I was like, oh, put Fire Saga after that one. Or I saw Fire Saga and I put this one after it because I thought it was funny. They have the
I
twins
see where you're going.
next-
Okay, so you're to blame for both of them. It's just a question of which one did you put on first.
No. I only put one of the two on.
I think
I don't remember which.
I think I put Fire Saga on. I'll be honest.
Okay, so I put this one on because I saw Fire Saga on it, and when I was looking on Netflix, this one showed up too, and I was like, "Oh, this will be funny." And I'll put it next to it.
Well, what's interesting, Mike, is that that means Colin put on the one which is TVMA, which is not suitable for ages 17 and under.
I didn't look at that.
Oh crap! That's ought to be. Phew, okay. We are going to have to discuss the next show date because I'm actually going to be away.
Okay.
On the 12th.
All right.
So we can either. Well, we can discuss.
We can discuss that offline, and then you'll have to subscribe to one of our social media platforms in order to know when we're going to be on next. So,
Dabney Coleman, yeah. You know, Dabney Coleman. He's in so many good ones. Is he still alive? Because I'd be sad if he was dead. That's fine. Alexa, is Dabney Coleman dead?
No. He's 88, though. He was in.
Why didn't you answer me? Alexa, is Dabney Coleman still alive?
Dabney Coleman is still alive. He is 88 years old.
Yep.
Thank you.
It was, yes, famous for War Games and Cloak and Dagger and the Beverly Hillbillies.
Yes.
And he's still active.
95.
Yes,
He was in 4 different things last year,
and
including NCIS and Yellowstone and For the People, whatever that is. Yeah, he was on NCIS last year. I remember that now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I remember him from the Short Time. Anybody remember that show?
No.
That was one of those made-for-TV movies in the theme of Joe versus the Volcano, where there was a mix-up with the medical records, and so he thinks he only has 24 hours to live.
Okay.
And he's a cop, and his insurance doubles if he gets killed on duty. So, you know, he wants to try and set up his wife and kid for, a bigger payout. So he does everything he can to try and get shot while on duty.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. And he was in Dragnet and Hot to Trot.
Dragnet, that's right.
Yeah, he was the evangelical preacher.
Yes.
He was on
I just
Golden
noticed something
Pond?
while I was looking at the Amazon page for Prey TV. Prime Day
is coming
this
up.
Year is October 13th and 14th.
Yeah.
October 13th is also the next debate.
Well, you can buy lots of things to stock your bar with.
So it's probably a good thing that we're going to postpone from the 12th because
it gives us even more content for the next show.
Yeah, I mean, look, let's be realistic here. We don't want to go on before the next debate.
No, it would be interesting to see what they change. You know. And,
what days are Prime Day?
And 13, 14.
13th and 14th.
Yeah, so we can talk about the debate, and we can talk about things on Prime Day before Prime Day ends.
And all the crap that we've already bought.
Sure.
If we've bought anything. I have. At this point, I'm pretty well set.
No, I know what I'm going to be looking for. I'm going to be looking for deals on Blink cameras.
Oh, see. My garage is finally getting wired for electricity today and tomorrow. And so pretty soon I've already got my cameras. So by then I will have them installed. So my fortress of solitude is getting fortified.
So, Mike, that was another joke last night on Colbert. We talked about that new, I think Amazon has that new security camera. It's a drone. So the drone, lifts up.
Oh, yeah, the new Ring.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And he said, yeah, it's for making sure that your cat goes crazy.
basically.
Yeah, it's a
'Cause
ring.
It's indoor only, and it will only fly around inside, which
It's a ring
Yeah.
drone.
makes no sense to me whatsoever.
You come home and either find that it didn't work, ran out of power, or was pounced on by a cat. That's my addiction.
$250 for a drone to survey your interior. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe they'll sell tons. Maybe. Who knows? So, anyway. Well, we want to thank everybody for tuning in wherever you did tune in, whether it was YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Periscope, wherever. We appreciate you guys watching live. Don't forget, though, if you can't watch us live, you can always subscribe to the podcast. Go to ptrradio.com. Information for how to subscribe to the podcast is all there, and we have gotten all of our episodes up to date. So if you missed one, you can go back in the history and you can listen to them all that maybe you missed. So all that is out there now, and we'll be trying to keep it up to date from here on out to make sure that you guys can always get the latest episode. So hopefully that will continue to happen. And, we won't have any live events for a while because of, Corona. But, it doesn't mean that we still can't get together on this little thing that we call the internet. Thanks to the series of tubes that Al Gore put in place for us, we can still get together every couple weeks and have a good time. So, tune in next show. We'll announce it on our social media platforms when that's going to be. We'll have yet another drink for you to try. We'll have some more news. We'll have some more fun stuff that we can talk about. And, if we do talk about the debate, we're going to talk about it the same way, where we're making fun of both sides. Because there's no right, there's no wrong, there's just funny when it comes to politics. So, we want you to know whether you're white, black, gray, green, brown, or yellow, or purple, or whether you're a primate like Mike the Ape Man. We're always here to entertain you. So, with that said, I'm pretty much done. I'm Shaggy.
I'm Colin.
I am utterly confused by what races he was talking about, but I am Mike the Ape Man.
I don't know either. I was just rambling. So, stick a fork in us, folks. We are done later.
We're done.